So let me read that quote one more time. Joy doesn't diminish our ability to meet suffering, it strengthens it. When the heart knows how to celebrate what's good, it can also bear what's difficult without collapsing. That's a quote by Nico Haas. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name. I think this is so very true that we have to remember to seek out places of joy, to bolster us, to strengthen us. And certainly, watching Artemis last week was a fun joy for me. I hope something has been joyful for you as well. Maybe it's simple things like getting out in nature or, all the things. But it's just so very easy to get bogged down with all the negativity that exists in the world. So we have to force ourselves sometimes to choose joy. So that's the yoga homework. That's the yoga practice is to seek out things that bolster your heart and fill you so that you have that capacity to bear what's difficult without collapsing. All right, so if you felt a little moon joy last week, I love that that's what they called it in the Artemis missions, moon joy. The other thing that I really was struck by was Christina, what is her last name? Koch, I think, one of the astronauts, first woman astronaut to go beyond the moon. Um, Anyway, one of the things she said when she came back was that seeing the Earth from far away made her realize how much the Earth is a crew, that the Earth is the spaceship, basically, kind of floating through all this blackness. And we forget this so much, and there's so much strife and there's so much conflict that maybe taking that big view, and I know we do this in Tonglen sometimes, where we kind of stretch out to hold the whole earth. And if we get a little time to do that at the end of our practice today, try to imagine. I hope that you've seen some of the imagery that NASA has put out about what the Earth looked like on their mission. So if you have an image, we'll start with that image in our practice of the Earth. Okay, and then toward the end, we'll offer it again. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall and take a moment to visualize as you close your eyes the image of the Earth from space. Okay, whether it's a recent one or just one that you remember seeing at some point, take a moment to imagine, close your eyes and kind of pull up that image of our beautiful blue planet with the swirling white clouds and that kind of light around it, that rim of our atmosphere around the Earth, as seen from space. Maybe you've seen some of the land masses, but that beautiful blue ocean and just the unity. Okay, so let's start our practice with the sense of recognizing the beauty of our planet and the home that it is for us, and that we are all one, that there's really no separation. We are all earthlings, whether we're humans or animals or plants or rocks or elements or water or anything else, air, we are all earthling. See if you can just hold that space for the entirety of the earth. And one of the things I did with the meditation this weekend was imagine that earth kind of getting smaller and entering right into my heart. Like I could hold the whole earth inside my heart chakra. Maybe that's something you'd like to try, maybe not. Whatever it is, whatever the visual is, whatever the sensing is for you. Let's see if we can just remember that we're all one. Try not to get granular, so don't get into specifics of earthen realms, but really keep that bird's eye view, that space view of seeing the oneness of our planet. And then just offer some love, offer some healing, offer some peace, whatever else you want to offer. And then return to your own body, your own breath, and bring yourself into the fullness of your breathing. Can you sense in to imagine that you're touching every little tiny nook and cranny of your lung tissue? Every alveoli having a moment to offer or to receive some oxygen and then to offer some carbon dioxide. And also just try to remember that we're all elemental, whether we're breathing in oxygen, breathing out carbon dioxide, all the elements that make us up, our iron in our blood and our calcium in our bones, and all the other elements that are within us, that we are stardust. We are made from the same stuff as the whole earth and the whole universe. So as you breathe in, see if you can feel that connection to all, the unity of all things. And then when you're ready, bring your hands together and offer an intention for yourself, something just for you. And then we'll release your hands and find your way onto your back. Okay, so as you find yourself stretching out onto your mat, enjoy just the simple act of getting horizontal. Notice the changing shape in your body, what it feels like to have your joints ease. And then stretch your arms overhead. And feel some reaching. Reach into the left, reach into the right, stretch through your sides. Enjoy. And then draw your knees into your chest and rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. Okay. All right, and then let's circle, kind of roll the knees, rolling in one direction, feeling your sacrum on the ground. Have some gentleness. Go the other way. Have your breath, rest your head. And then we'll open up the knees away from the middle and bring them back in toward. Just enjoying some range of motion. All right, right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground. Let's move around in our feet. Wiggle through your toes, roll around in your ankles. Feel a heaviness in your head again. Okay, a nice good squeeze of that right knee and then cross it over to the left and stretch open into a twist here. Feel the reaching through your chest. Feel free to breathe deeply. Feel free to move your arm around if you'd like, or to be still. And then we'll come back to center. Bring that knee into the chest. Then we'll switch sides. Left knee in, right leg long. Have a moment with your feet again. Roll your ankles, wag your feet, wiggle your feet, whatever feels really good. Heavy head. And then cross that left knee over to the right and twist open on this side. Enjoy your breath. All right, and then come back to center. Stretch your body like a star, reaching your limbs wide and expansive. Open your breath, deep breath in. Exhale, knees into your chest. Again, open up big and wide. Exhale, small and snug. And then put your head down, arms out to the side. Let's windshield wiper your knees left and right and just enjoy your hips moving, your legs moving a little bit. And then we'll roll onto our right side. Grab onto your left ankle and give your quad a nice good stretch. Heel close to your buttocks, draw your thigh back. And then back to center. We'll roll to the other side and stretch your thigh here. And then roll back onto your back one more time. A star on the ground, reaching your limbs. Roll your wrists, roll your ankles, touch the edges of you. Know where you are out there in space. Exhale, draw your knees into your chest and roll to your side. Come on up to your hands and your knees. Let's start with some cat-cows. Moving through your spine here, arching and rounding the spine, taking some time to feel your vertebrae. Enjoy. Full breath in, full breath out. And wag your tail. Move your spine around. And then we'll take a child's pose and drop your body down, hips down toward your heels, and stretch your arms out in front of you. Reaching and lengthening through your sides. Let's walk the hands to one side, stretching through your ribs, opening up here. Over to the other side, feeling that length on this side of the body. Full breaths. And coming back to center. Come up onto all fours. Take your left leg straight back behind you. Curl your toe under. Open up your calf a bit here. And then we'll cross that left leg over to the right and turn and look at your foot. And just open up the side body, but a little bit now in your hip instead of just in the ribs and shoulder. Feel it in your waist and hip. Square the chest and hips to the floor. And then come back to center. Let's switch sides. Take that foot back. Open up your chest, ground through your hands. We'll cross that foot over to the left. Turn and look at your right foot. Opening up that right side body a little bit. And then come back to center and stretch to a child's pose. Relax through your sides. Lengthen your arms. And then we'll come back up onto all fours. Do some circles with your pelvis. So imagine a paintbrush on your tail, and when you're drawing a circle on the wall behind you, just loosening up your low back a little bit. Now do your circles the opposite way. All right, now we'll take a full twist. Reach the left arm up in the air. Exhale, drop that shoulder down. Twisting to the side, enjoying the pose. Relax your head. And then we're facing the ground, chest broad. Let the shoulder open up a little bit. Drop your hips back like child's pose. And then we'll reach that arm back up in the air, hand to the sky, and then bring that hand down. We'll switch sides. Arm up, roll your wrist, exhale, drop your shoulder down. Gaze toward the floor, soften your neck, relax your head, a big breath. All right, and then face the ground with your chest. So we're still stretching the shoulder, but the arm may not be so deep into the twist now. Hips can drop back toward the heels. And then inhale, bring that arm back up to the sky. And bring your hands down to the ground. Let's switch our hand direction. So our fingers point toward us. Curl your toes under. And then drop your hips back toward your heels, opening up your forearms, opening up the bottom of your feet. Lift your chest, broaden your collarbones, and then release and shake out your wrists. And we'll go the other way. Fingers still pointing toward the knees, but now our palms are up. Turn the eyes of the elbows forward, drop your shoulder blades down, open your chest. All right, and then give your hands a shake. Inhale, up onto your shins, arms come up to the sky. Exhale, lower your body back down, child's pose. One more time, up onto your shins. Exhale, hands coming down onto the ground in front of you. Curl your toes under and lift to a dog. Take a little time pedaling your feet. Let's drop one heel, drop the other heel. Just take your time. You can move fast or slow through the movement, opening up your calves. Notice if you tend to land in your outer ankle or your inner ankle. See if you can get balanced. And then find the fullness of this posture. No more moving and pedaling, and instead lifting the sit bones, stretching the feet, reach the heels back and down. Find your breath. Then come forward into a plank. Holding steady, drop your shoulders away from the ears. Breathing well. We'll put our knees down onto the ground, find the belly. Roll the shoulders a few times. And then when we're ready, we'll lift to a cobra. Open your chest. And then exhale. Melting back down one more time. Come up onto all fours. Move your spine. Drop back to a child's pose. Give your wrists a nice shake from that work you've done. Okay, take your forearms down onto the ground. Lift to a dolphin pose. Sit bones come high. Lift your ribs away from the ground. Find your breath. And then we'll walk our feet back to come to a forearm plank. Try to make a straight line with your body. Move your shoulders away from the ears. You can always put your knees down if you need. Wake up your core. And then we'll find the ground with our belly. Walk the hands just a little bit forward, Sphinx pose. Elbows stay down, shoulders away from the ears, and lift and open your heart. All right, and then we'll relax. Come up onto your hands and your knees. Move your spine around again, wiggle your toe, or wiggle your hips rather, and then drop back toward a child's pose. Stretch your arm down in front of you. Breathing deep. And let's take our right foot forward. Keep your back knee down onto the ground. Feel the hip flexors start to open up here a little bit. Find your breath. And we'll come upward, crescent moon, by reaching the arms up to the sky. Back knee stays down. Open the heart. Feel this extension. Let's find that side body again. So right hand on the block and reach the left hand over for a nice side body stretch. Stay open through your heart. And then we'll turn this into a twist, forearm, elbow, or a hand on your knee, twisting, opening up through the spine and through the hip flexors. Breathe deeply. All right, come back to center. Back onto all fours. Have a moment to maybe cat and cow. And we'll switch sides. Bring your left foot forward, come to a lunge, keep the back knee down onto the ground. And try to inch those left toes forward to the place where you feel like your knee stays over your ankle instead of lunging forward. Maybe your left hand can be on the block. Reach your right arm up in the air. Let's take a side bend first, and then we'll come with both arms up. Feel that reaching. And then a forearm twist. Open your chest. Maybe your elbow comes on your knee, maybe your hand, maybe your forearm. Ground your legs. Enjoy the rotation of your spine. And then we'll come back to center. 2 hands on the blocks. Gather your legs. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Find your breath. Press into your legs. Feel that support. And then we'll reach our hands down. Back to a child's pose. Relax your hips. Let them soften back. Curl the toes under and lift to a dog when you're ready. Maybe some more pedaling. See what it feels like. Ground yourself here. Lengthen through the sides of your body. See if you can reach your ribs toward your pelvis a little bit more. And then we'll walk our feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up through your side. And then exhale. Melting to fold. One more time. Open up through the side bodies. And then relax. This time when we come to the half lift, maybe try taking your blocks on the high height. You can always go lower if you want. Feet are hip width apart. We're going to walk the blocks over to the right and stretch your left hip away. Feel your heart expand and open. Ground through both feet. Notice if you lean more heavily into the outer left ankle. See if you can root all 4 corners of both feet well. And then come back to center. Walk the hands over to the left. Right hip reaching back. Even weight through your feet. Lift the heart forward toward those blocks. Finding your breath. And then coming back to the midline. Relax, fold, bend your knees as much as you need to. Breathing deeply. We'll push through our feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Bring your arms up to the sky. Let's cactus open your chest, spread your wings. And then exhale and round your chest. Pause here for a moment. Find the full breath in, a full breath out. We'll reach the arms up in the air. Take your feet a little bit wider than we typically do. Grab onto your left wrist and we'll reach up and over with a nice wide base. Try not to lose the weight in your left leg. And then we'll come back, grab the other wrist, right wrist, reaching up and over to the left. Keep weight in the right foot. Okay, find your feet now coming together. Touch your toes. reach your arms up to the sky and come to a chair pose with your hands to your heart. Hug your legs. Feel the stability of those two legs becoming one. And then as you lift your arms up, straighten your legs. And this time we'll come into a chair, but with our arms overhead. So squeeze your legs together. I know it's different if you're used to putting your legs apart in this pose. Draw your knees back. Strengthen the back body. Draw your ribs in. And then up onto your tippy toes. Focus on something that doesn't move. You can bring your arms out if you'd like. And then heels come down onto the ground, palms together. Keep those legs together for just a moment. I know it's different, but just see what it feels like to have your two legs kind of solidify toward one support. Full breaths. Let's reach our arms up again. Grab your wrist, left wrist with your right hand, and we'll tip over to the side, but notice how different it is when our legs are together. So hug your legs together, ground your feet. Use your core to support you. And then we'll come back, grab the other wrist, over to the left you go. Use your core here. The obliques work hard for this. And then come back up to stand. Bring your arms down, separate your feet, fold forward and relax your back. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up through your spine. Exhale and release. Step back to a dog pose. Feel that extension, root, and rise. Let's come forward into a plank. Holding yourself steady here. Turn your torso to the right. So using your obliques. And back to center. Go to the left. Coming back to center. And let's put our knees down onto the ground, all fours. Of course, you can shake out your wrists or put your fists on the ground instead of hands or forearms on blocks. Left leg straight back behind you. Keep your hands grounded. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, turn and look at your foot and bring your knee toward your armpit. And then bring it back. Let's do that twice more. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, leg back. So your knees coming out to the side, up toward your armpit, and look at it. And then back. Drop that knee down. Give your hands a little shake if you need some support. Take that left leg or right leg straight back behind you. Integrate. Press your left shin into the ground. Find your breathing. And then when you exhale, knee to your armpit. Look at your knee. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, bring it in. All right, put that knee down onto the ground. Curl your toes under, lift to a dog. And then walk your feet forward. Relax here, soften your skull. A halfway lift, opening up through your spine. Exhale and relax. Push through your feet, rising up. Trace down through the center. Let's remember that earth in our heart. And you have a big breath for the whole world. And we're going to turn sideways on your mat. Take some wide legs. Let's start just by opening up our inner thighs here, grounding into your legs. Root down. Find the four corners of your feet. Let your elbows kind of coax your knees open a little bit. All right, and then we'll inhale and come all the way up to stand. All right, turn your right foot out. Find your way into Parsva Konasana. Elbow on your knee. Stretch your arm overhead and lengthen through that side of your body. Turn your torso so it's facing forward as best as you can. Stay grounded through your feet. Maybe look up at your hand. Feel that extension like you're reaching. All right, and then we'll come on up and turn our feet to the other side. Bend your knee, elbow on your knee, stretch that right arm over your head. See what it feels like to try to turn your chest, your torso, your whole torso toward the front. Stretching your arm overhead and then look at your hand. Challenge your balance a little bit, ground your feet, and feel that extension like you have a line running from your fingertips outward that you're lengthening into. Find ground. So find the other end of that line, rooting into the earth. How's your breathing? And then come back up. Okay, now when we do this goddess variation, let's try we'll do it with our hands first, and then maybe we'll do it with no hands. Okay, so come down into your goddess pose. You can have your hands on your knees. You don't have to be very deep. You don't have to go into your deepest position. Okay, and we're going to rise up with one arm, reaching to the side, ground through both sides of your legs, both feet. Keep that right hand on your knee. And then look up and reach that line again. Drop through your sit bone, drop through your heels. Back to center. Hand on your knee, up and over to the other side. Look at your hand. Remember, you don't have to be in your deepest squat. I'm kind of high. That feels nice and stable for me right now. Breathing. Reach into that line through your hands. Drop into that right sit bone and the right foot. Okay. And then come on up. Standing star. Legs are straight. Take your hands behind your head. Drop your head into your hands a little bit and open your chest. Take any strain, pressure away from the neck, the base of the skull. And then we'll relax their hands down. Now, when we come into this variation, we're going to try to keep our hand off our knee. So when we cut first, we'll come into the goddess, both arms reaching up, and let's see if we can, and don't go too far. So try not to like overdo this because it's a lot. You want your core to be working for you, your obliques. Don't rely on your low back only to do this. Arms up, and we'll tip a little bit with two arms. Look at your arms and reach through both lines. Root into the left foot, the left sit bone. Don't go too far. Back to center, over to the left. Root into your right sit bone, right heel. Reach through both hands. Look at your hands. Don't go too far. Core is engaged. Okay, and then come back to center and straighten up your legs. Okay, find your way into the triangle pose. Hand can come on a block, right side, reaching that right arm up, a little reverse triangle, so you feel that length through your side, and then tip. And remember, you can go high. You don't have to have your hand on a block. You can have your hand on your legs. So remember that depth in these, the ways we're doing the poses today, it can be very challenging. So let's not overdo. Root into both feet, open your chest. Find your breath. Now you have a fair amount of weight on that block probably or on your legs, so let it go. Start taking very little weight into your hand so that you're figuring out how to self-support without your hands. Okay, come on out of there when you're ready, and we'll go to the other side. Start by reaching that left arm up, lengthen through that side body, and then find your way. Be Try, it's so easy to just bear a lot of weight into the hand. Let's see what we can do to just keep lightening the load on the hand and increasing the load in the legs and in the core. Find your breath. Look up at your hand. Reach from both hands, those two lines through your hands, one down, one up. Lightness on that block. And then we'll come on up. Now this is challenging. So when we come into triangle pose on this side, on the right side again, we're going to do this with two arms up. So I don't want you to go very far because if you tip really far over, your low back is going to be what ends up holding you up a lot. See if you can get your legs to ground you and your side bodies to be the support, your core, the transverse abdominis and the obliques are really doing a lot of work to support you, and the legs are supporting you. So try to take it out of the low back. You don't want that low back muscle to be the muscle that's supporting you. Root into your feet, reach your arms up. You could tip 2 inches over to the side, and it's a lot. So don't go too far. If you can, look up your hands and reach into those lines. Drop into the legs. Engage through your core. Don't go too far. And then come back up. And we'll do the other side. The mistake I see sometimes when I've been in classes doing this pose is that they go right, instead of doing the practices we're doing here, I've seen people go right from Parsvottanasana into this side bend without prepping the side bodies first. And it's a lot to do Parsvottanasana with no arms. We're going to do it in a moment, but these are these prep poses that we're doing in the beginning to help us know where is the boundary for our back. Ground into your feet really well. Reach the arms up and tip like triangle pose. So our legs are straight. Try not to sink into that hip. See if you can reach through your arms. Don't go too far. Ground through your legs. Unlock your front knee, your left knee. Try not to sink into the left hip. Reach through both arms if you want to look at your hands. If that is not good for your neck, imagine your eyes up there reaching into those two arms. Core, core, core. And then we'll come back up. Bring your legs back together. Find neutral. We'll move through vinyasa and then we'll come back to that. Okay? Legs hip width apart. Inhale, rising up. All the while when we move through these transitions, check on your low back. As you forward fold, is your low back telling you that it took a little too much pressure? Very mindful of that. Inhale for a halfway lift, extending through the spine. Exhale, release. Step back, dog pose. Legs, feet hip width apart. Find your breath. Take an opportunity to breathe into your side waist. Let your obliques find length and space here. And then we'll come forward into a plank. And enjoy the neutrality of this pose. Hunker into your core, not into your chest. Broad chest. Turn your navel to the right. Back to center, navel to the left. Back to center, find the ground. Let's take our arms out wide, palms on the ground, and lengthen here. Reach into your body. Exhale, come down onto the ground, pick up your feet, and windshield wiper your knees, lefty, righty. Come on up. Maybe a cat-cow, maybe a little swish of the spine, maybe a nice good tail wag. How are you checking in on your back? How's it doing? Curl your toes under and breathe up into a dog. And walk your feet forward, Uttanasana, a halfway lift, folding again. Push through your feet, rising up, tracing down through the midline. Now, how does your back feel? After doing a vinyasa to kind of clear the decks, if you're having strain in your low back, I want you to maybe just do a regular Parsvakonasana and trying instead of trying to take our hands away. So again, we're not going into our deepest postures to do this. Wide legs, turn your right foot out. We'll start maybe with our hand on our knee. Instead of coming all the way to your elbow on your knee, maybe go a little less deep and put your hand on your knee. Stretch that arm overhead and then just kind of explore with a little less weight bearing on that hand. Maybe you can go a little deeper. Maybe your body's ready for an elbow length. So whichever you want, however depth you want to go into this pose, now we'll take two hands off. Reaching as you go. Reaching, don't look at your hands, look forward, but imagine your hands are still reaching through those lines. Lots of core. Press your legs into the ground. And then come back up and check in with your back. How did it go? Be conservative. This is a challenging pose for your back, so I'd rather you do less than more. Okay. Take your left foot, turn it out, find your way. Maybe your Parsvakonasana is your hand on your elbow, hand on your knee instead of your elbow on your knee. So you're not as deep in this pose. Okay. Maybe you're like, nope, that's good for me. I can come deeper and come where you think you can weight bear less with the hand. So whether it's your hand or your elbow, take the weight out. Okay, take the weight out. And then when you're ready, core, legs, press your feet, reach that hand in the air. Open your chest. Find your breath. Lots of core, lots of legs. And then we'll come all the way back up. Standing star, turn your feet forward and relax your spine down. Find your breath. To me, those poses, I obviously don't do them very often, but when I do, to me it's a practice of learning restraint too, to kind of recognize where the body's limitations are. It's very good. Relax here. All right. Turn back to the front of your mat. Dog pose. Nice long spine here. One more time to a plank. Shoulders away from the ears. Turn navel to the right. Notice how different it is to use your obliques to twist versus side bend. Back to center, other side. And back to center. You can put your knees down first if you need. Find the ground. Take a back bend of your choosing. Lengthen up. Exhale, coming down. Move your props, your blocks out of the way for our twist. Left knee high toward the armpit. Look at your knee like we did when we were on all fours. Just take a look at that knee, and then we'll cross the right arm over to the left and roll open to a twist. This should feel relieving. This should feel good. If it doesn't, modify something. Okay, we'll come rolling back. Bring your right knee up toward your armpit. Take a look at your knee. Breathing deep. And then we'll cross the left arm underneath you and roll open to a twist. let's come back around. And then come on to your back. Grab a block. First, bring your knees to your chest. Little rocking left and right. All right, put the feet onto the ground. Lift up your hips. Put it whatever height of the block that you want under your pelvis. Could be middle, could be low, could be 2 blocks stacked high. And then you decide what variations you're in the mood for here. You can stay in a bridge where your feet are on the ground and we release our sacrum and our pelvis. You could, if you want a little bit more of a stretch through your hip flexors, you can straighten your legs, heels on the ground. You can even take your arms overhead. Perhaps you'd rather bring your knees into your chest or put your legs straight up in the air. There's always so many choices to do when our block is underneath us. So you can, move through a little sequence for yourself or stay in one posture. Okay, so just take your time with all these variations or staying put in one thing. Okay, you always get to choose your pathways here. Are you doing something that's releasing to your back? Sometimes it's hard to know which of these um, variations you need or want until you try each of them, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's the one. That's what my back, that's what my body, that's what my mind needed. So whatever you're doing, look for that ah. Okay, we'll lift our hips up now, get that block out of there and lower to the ground. Drop your knees left and turn your head right, and then switch. Just a little windshield wipering before we do a deeper twist. All right, and then as you just gently drop your knees to the left, reach your right arm over your head. And then we'll drop our knees to the right and reach our left arm overhead. And I always am amazed by how one side, pay attention if you have discrepancies. And you might notice discrepancies more in certain areas of your body than others, as far as differences between left and right. Like maybe you notice it a lot in your hips or your quads. I notice a lot in my side waist. My right side's a lot tighter than my left, and I think it's due to a shoulder injury that just kind of lingers in that part of my body. So pay attention to your patterns. What do you notice? All right, come out of there and we'll bring our right foot onto our left knee for a reverse pigeon pose. Relax here, breathe here. Put our feet down and transition to the other side. left foot on our right knee and draw that knee in. You can hold the shin or the back of the thigh, whatever is comfortable. Breathe deeply. All right, relax that leg. Grab 2 feet now. A little bit of rocking left and right. Happy baby. Maybe you want to be still. And then roll to your side and come up to sit in a comfortable position. Use any support you need. You can be Sukhasana or Virasana, blocks, blankets, bolsters, anything that you need. We'll just be here for a couple of minutes, 3 minutes or so. And as you kind of find your way into an easeful posture, we're going to do an unusual variation of Tonglen. So normally we start with offering compassion and support and well-being, wishes of well-being to ourselves and then to someone we love. And, we kind of progressively move outward. Today we're going to hold the whole earth. We're just going to do the earth, but always when you do a Tonglen when you're receiving or being aware of other people's suffering, if that becomes too much, always return to self, where you just return to offering love and compassion to yourself. So a traditional Tonglen, wording might be, may all beings be happy, may all beings be healthy, may all beings be free. But you can choose any words or no words. And the goal here is to first breathe in what you know to be the pain of the world, the suffering of the world, known and unknown. And then to breathe out that blessing. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free. And choose your words, doesn't have to be those words. But the breath in, we have a moment of just recognizing and being aware of this suffering around the globe, the earth itself, all sentient beings. And we breathe out our blessings, our love, our care. Try to have in the mind's eye that picture of the earth from space, this gentle, beautiful home. On the breath in, we recognize, we acknowledge the suffering. When we breathe out our goodwill. Whole world, whole world. And then when you're ready, you can bring yourself out of your seated posture and onto your back or any other position for Shavasana. Maybe you're bringing that earth back into your heart. Remember, you don't have to do this as a dedicated practice in your yoga practice. You can be driving and offer your well wishes to the world. You can be chopping your vegetables, you can be in the shower, you can be falling asleep, you can be up in the middle of the night, you can be anywhere, anytime, and offer your blessings to the world. Let's begin to breathe a little more deeply. We'll move around a little more in your body. Eventually find your way to your side. When you feel ready, we'll come up to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together at your heart. One more time, just offer that energy that you've built in your practice, your centering, your grounding. Offer it to the world. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.